Welcome to the Membership Guys podcast. Kick-ass advice and tips for membership site owners.
Hello there, welcome to episode 154 of the Membership Guys podcast with me, Mike Morrison, your host for this show that will help you to grow a successful membership website. Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're having a great week. Thank you for spending a little part of your day with me. Hopefully, I can make it worth your while with another dose of membership advice. Today, we're talking all about video hosting. Where should you host videos for your membership? We see this question coming up so many times inside our Facebook group and inside our own community, where people are struggling to figure out what the best option is for hosting videos for their member content, videos for promotion that they use within their marketing, videos that they use on their sales page, and so on and so on. So today we're going to set the record straight on what the best option, the best solution is for video hosting, as well as what you should absolutely avoid. So when it comes to video hosting, essentially it boils down to 6 main choices. Store the videos on your own website, so on your own server. Store them in a Dropbox account or a Google Drive folder. Store them on a service like Amazon S3, which is a file hosting service. Host them on YouTube, which of course is the most popular video hosting website around and the second largest search engine on the internet. And then the last 2 options are to either host them on Wistia, so that's wistia.com, or host them on Vimeo. So those 2 are alternative video hosting services. So those are your 6 main choices. So we're going to go through them one by one and just talk about whether or not they're a suitable choice for hosting your membership videos. So first of all, storing videos on your own website. This is a huge no-no in almost every case. First of all, if you're hosting videos on your web hosting account, it's going to eat up your server space. So whether you're on shared hosting, whether you've got your own dedicated server, you have a limited allocation of space. And a very quick way to use up all of that space is by uploading video files. You've got to remember that video file sizes are usually a heck of a lot bigger than images or PDFs and other types of files. And if you're hosting those video files on your own server, it's also going to slow your website down. So you're going to be taking up a lot of bandwidth when people watch your videos, and that's going to affect other areas of your site. It's going to affect load time, performance, and all that sort of stuff. Plus, when you're actually uploading the videos yourself, that's also going to slow down your server. It's going to use up a lot of your server resources. So your members, your website visitors, they're going to suffer as well. It's also a much more complicated process to upload, host, and then embed videos if those files are being stored on your own site. So if you're using WordPress, for example, chances are you don't have any problems at all uploading images directly through WordPress, through their media library. But it's going to be a whole different story if you try to upload videos that way, because the files, again, are much bigger. The uploading process takes much longer, and most servers restrict how big files can be when you're uploading them directly through your website. So in most cases, the only way you'd be able to upload them is by using something called FTP. And if you don't know what FTP is, then that's probably a good sign that you shouldn't be going in this direction. And it's also likely that your hosting company will have restrictions in place preventing or restricting you from hosting and streaming videos. So if you're actually doing that, you risk getting spanked on that front too, and that can have major implications for your website. And by the way, because web hosts aren't typically set up to support streaming videos, they don't have their servers configured appropriately, then even putting everything else aside, the videos, when people watch them, they're going to be slow to load. They're going to buffer a lot more than people would expect because they're not being delivered from a source that is built specifically to deliver video. And then finally, if you're doing it through this way, you're also going to need to find a plugin and some code that you can embed into your site. You'll actually need to find a video player plugin that gives you the code that you embed in your site. It's not like YouTube and others where after you've uploaded your video, you just get the embed code given to you. You're going to have to figure that piece of the puzzle out yourself. So overall, it's a lot more convoluted, a lot more complicated. There's so many more pitfalls and potential problems, and the end result is actually going to be pretty poor performance when it comes to people actually watching those videos. So hosting video files on your own site, if they are for viewing, if they're not for downloading, and even if they are for downloading, I would still not recommend putting them on your own site because, again, it's taking up storage, taking up bandwidth. But hosting videos on your own site is a no-no. Hosting on Dropbox, Google Drive, or even Amazon S3 suffer from similar problems. Limits on storage space, possible contravention of terms and conditions in the case of Dropbox and Google. Amazon S3 isn't as restricted, and the storage space on Amazon is relatively cheap, but again, none of these three options are purpose-built for hosting and streaming videos. When you use a proper video host, their servers are not only fine-tuned for the sole purpose of serving up video fast and without problems with buffering, but also when you upload the video file itself, it gets optimized to reduce the file size as much as possible without spoiling the video. So this means less storage taken up, this means videos load quicker, they perform better, and it's overall a much better experience for the people viewing the video. None of that stuff happens with the likes of Dropbox, Amazon, Google Drive, and so on, because they are not built for the purpose of being video hosts. It's also harder to control and limit access through those types of services too. So a member could easily just share the video link to your video that you're hosting on Dropbox or Amazon. They could just share that link to their friends, and frankly, there'd be nothing that you can do. So for hosting video that you'll be embedding on your website, where your members will be logging in and actually viewing the video on your site, definitely go with a proper video hosting service, not just somewhere that hosts files. You know, if you want to host images, you've got tools or downloads, PDFs, and all that sort of stuff that your members will be downloading, then that's where things like Amazon S3 are worth looking at. But for video hosting, you should use a proper video hosting service. And there are three main choices you have on that front: YouTube, Vimeo, and Wistia. Now, of course, YouTube are the ones that absolutely everybody listening will have heard of. And you definitely want to have any free videos that you're using as part of your content marketing strategy, for example. You definitely want those to be on YouTube because the audience there is huge. The discoverability for those videos is huge. But you shouldn't be hosting your paid membership videos on there. And the main reason for that is that there is no good way of restricting that content to only your members. So quite often what people do is they'll upload videos for their courses, for their workshops, the replay videos from webinars and stuff. They'll upload those to YouTube and they'll set them to unlisted. And then they think that that's enough to protect it. So they just embed the unlisted video inside their membership, but they don't realize that anybody who has a direct link to an unlisted video can watch it on the YouTube website. So again, your members can quite easily share the direct YouTube link with their friends, and there's nothing you can do about it. So anybody with a link to an unlisted video can watch it, and B, unlisted videos will still show up in a Google search. Now, you can set YouTube videos to be protected, fully private, but then only people that you personally invite via email can watch them. And frankly, this is impractical for a membership site. So for content marketing, video blogs, and so on, then absolutely put that content on YouTube, but steer clear when it comes to your member content. So that leaves us with Vimeo and Wistia. And of those two, our recommendation would absolutely be Vimeo. Both of these services offer amazing features. They are both great video hosting services. You will need to pay for them, but in Vimeo's case, it's real good value for money when you look at the features you actually get. Now, not only do both of these services, Vimeo and Wistia, allow you to do things like customize and brand the video player, view in-depth statistics on how people are actually consuming your video, and so on. The most important thing that they give you is a great deal of control over where your video can be embedded and watched. You can actually restrict your videos so that they can only ever be embedded and watched on your specific website. They cannot be viewed and they cannot be watched anywhere else. So they won't show in search, they can't be viewed with a direct link. And even if somebody happened to have the embed code for the video and they just put it on their own website, so they were trying to rip your content off, the video wouldn't play because you restrict that video's playback to your specific domain name. That's the level of control you need when it comes to your paid content as a membership site owner. You cannot allow your paid content to be compromised by having it publicly available for anybody, member or not, to watch as it would be on YouTube. You need to lock that stuff down. And Vimeo and Wistia will both allow you to do this. Now, the reason I recommend Vimeo really comes down to price. Wistia has some very, very cool features. It's a very neat video hosting company. Lots of awesome stuff that it does. And perhaps it's got even better stats and analytics than Vimeo does. But they are very, very, very expensive by comparison. And honestly, Vimeo, they're catching up. They're closing that gap in terms of the features that you get for your money. Now, sometimes what we see people doing is using Wistia to host a handful of their important marketing videos. So, for example, if you have a sales page that has a sales video, one of those, 15, 20-minute long sales videos, then quite often people will host those on Wistia so that they can take advantage of the superior stats and reporting. And Wistia's free plan does allow you to have 3 videos, albeit they will stick their branding on your video, which for a lot of people, that's a no-go. But if you've got more than just a handful of videos, then Wistia is going to get pricey. Vimeo is a steal by comparison. So Vimeo Pro, which is the option that we recommend. And by the way, Vimeo does have a free option, but obviously it doesn't have a lot of the features we're talking about here. If you want all that good stuff, Vimeo Pro is the one you want to go with. And that works out at around about $14 per month. By comparison, Wistia is $99 per month. And you also then have to pay 25 cents per month extra for each video that you upload to Wistia. Oh, actually, no, they give you your first 10 videos for free. And that's free in quotation marks because, you're paying $100 for the privilege. So no, it's not free. This means that if you have 200 videos in your membership, and honestly, that's not uncommon. In certain types of membership, that would actually be a drop in the ocean. But let's say you have 200 videos in your membership, then if you're using Wistia, that $100 becomes $150 per month. And that cost is going to go up and up and up and up with every new video you add. Sure, it's only 25 cents per month for each video, but over the course of a year, that works out at $3. And that's $3 for every single video that you have hosted on Wistia. And again, that price is going to go up and up and up the more content you put out there. Whereas Vimeo, it's $14 a month, and you get a very, very generous upload allowance that most memberships aren't going to come anywhere near. There's no additional charges or any of that nonsense. And by the way, usually when you have people doing this whole kind of comparison of what service you should use and what have you, usually there's an affiliate link hiding somewhere. That's not the case here. We don't get any kickback. We don't get any payment from Vimeo for recommending you use them instead of Wistia. We're just speaking from experience here. We use Vimeo ourselves. We get nothing in exchange for it. It's just that when it comes down to it, it is the clear choice in 99% of cases. Now, sometimes you will have issues with certain countries. I believe there's countries in Asia where sometimes there's issues with Vimeo videos being blocked and so on. So as with everything, do your own research, do your own due diligence. But hopefully the information from today's episode has helped you get clarity on where you should be hosting your membership videos. So there we have it. YouTube for your free marketing content, for video blogs, and anything else where you want to reach a huge audience. Vimeo for anything that's going inside your membership. And at a stretch, maybe use Wistia for your sales page video. But to be honest, having their branding slapped on there probably isn't worth the trade-off in order to get marginally better statistics. So my advice, just stick with Vimeo. But more importantly than any of that, whatever you do, absolutely do not host videos on your own website. Hopefully this has helped you out if this has been an area where you're not too sure on, or perhaps you've started putting videos on YouTube and you got bit in the backside, or maybe this is the first you're hearing about the fact that actually all of your protected membership content is publicly available on YouTube if it's on there. If you just find that out now, sorry, but get it all onto Vimeo and you'll be sorted. That's it from me for this week. Hopefully this has been useful for you. I'll be back again next week with another installment of the Membership Guys podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Membership Guys podcast, we invite you to check out the membersiteacademy.com. The Member Site Academy is the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a membership website. So whether you're still figuring out what your idea is going to be, or whether your website is already up and running and you're just looking for ways to grow it and attract new members, then the Member Site Academy can help you to get to the next level. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive member-only discounts, perks and tools, and a supportive, active community to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement and advice, the Member Site Academy is the perfect place to be for anyone looking to start, manage and grow a successful membership website. So check it out at membersiteacademy.com.